Hello again, Dadhichi here from astrology.com.au, Taurus. It's April 2016. Sometimes I'm just driving along and for some reason the name of someone I went to kindergarten with will pop into my brain. Or some event that's completely unrelated to what I'm doing will spring forth, and I don't know the reason for that, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that happens to. And this month, I think what I'm trying to say is that these sorts of little sparks of insight into your past, people that were in your past, events that have helped shape you and who you are and your destiny to come, may also bring forth those gems of wisdom. There's a new moon on the 7th, and that takes place in the sign of Aries. Aries is your 12th house. The 12th house is a bit of a mysterious house. So right now you've got the Sun transiting through there, you've got Mercury, and also the slower moving Uranus. Then you're going to have Venus on the 6th, just before that new moon. So you're going to have quite a cluster of planets transiting this area that has to do with your past. You also have in your 9th house another spiritual sign, another, I guess, karmic sign, having the moon in conjunction with Pluto as the month starts. So there's a few pointers there indicating this, shall I call it a revelation? Let's just say, I like the word insight. It's just that sense of connecting the dots in your life. So this month I think is very, very significant. And the reason I'm going to say to you that it has to do with your marriage or your spouse or even business partnership is because later in the month on the, let me look at my sheet here, 22nd. I can't remember them all off by heart. So 22nd, there is a full moon in your 7th house of marriage. So given that the new moon triggers a lot of that information from the past, those memories, those recollections may tie in with what's going on in your personal relationships at this point in time. So they are what I consider key dates for you throughout the month of April. There are a couple of others. If we look at your ruling planet Venus, it's always good to see that there is a, well, we've mentioned the transit into the 12th house. That's going to really focus you on these past issues. It's also a very luxurious position. The Hindu astrologers are of the opinion that the 12th house position of Venus is expensive. So, 12th house of expenses, having that many planets there, a new moon as well, could be pointing not only to the spiritual insights, but to one hell of a shopping spree, Taurus. So bear that in mind, especially after the 6th and the 7th, when you've got the transit of your ruling planet and also the new moon there. The other very nice transits are the trine aspect to Mars, very nice for your relationships on the 13th. The trine to Saturn, that stabilizes your emotions. That occurs on the 19th, and then on the 20th, a bit of more of a difficult one, pardon me, with a square to Pluto. That's that planet that is in the 9th house. So what that means, a good solidification of your relationships and your communication, but also a bit of a challenge there on that latter date around the 20th, just preceding the full moon. So I suspect, because that full moon is taking place in Scorpio, and then you've got that challenge, the right angle between Venus and Pluto, which rules Scorpio, that there could be some rather intense battle of wills in the latter part of the month. So you need to brace yourself for that. And interestingly, if, again, just continuing on from the connection of the dots, if what you learn from the past triggers a very, very big reaction, you have to be careful of that. it seems to me that you may unearth, discover or locate something in the past that ties in with what's going on here. God forbid that it's something about someone else, because that's probably where your sense of loyalty and trustworthiness may come into the picture. So this is the theme of the month. If someone's not trustworthy, or you perceive them as having done something wrong, and you discover that, something that's happened maybe even years ago, then that's going to make it difficult for you to function in that relationship. But function you must, especially if you're in a committed relationship and what you learn is unsavory. You've got to move forward with this and deal with it in as diplomatic a way as you can. Got it? What else have we got here? They're the main points I wanted to bring out. We see also around the 23rd, just continuing on from that, your ruling planet will go into a very powerful conjunction with Uranus, which is very sudden, very, very abrupt. So you've got that, it's like a double whammy really. You've got the right angle from Venus to Pluto, and then Venus conjoining Uranus. These are the what we call transpersonal planets, those planets that are outside of Saturn. That can sometimes indicate issues or circumstances that are out of your control. So if that's the case, as I said in my introductory message today, it's all about working on yourself. You have no control over what words, thoughts or actions others are going to perpetrate on you, but you do have, to some extent anyhow, some control over yourself, and I hope that will hold you in good stead throughout this coming month. Don't forget to drop in at astrology.com.au. This is the advertisement part of it. For the more detailed analysis, lots of free readings there, and of course for a more detailed personal analysis with myself or any of the other practitioners, we welcome that. And I hope to see you here again next month. Take care.